Hold on one second. It is November 29th, 6 p.m. in the beautiful city of Los Angeles. I'm your boy, Duane Cofield, host of the Weekly Tap In. This is the Weekly Tap In, and I'm tapping in. What's good, family? What's happening, yo? Everybody good? Hey, first of all, what I want you guys to do is go ahead and hit that share button. If you're listening on the review of the podcast, go ahead and write a review. Pause this episode. Go in there, write that review. Let them know what time it is. Tell them whether you hate us or love us. The only way we can improve is if you guys give us feedback. So I'm not afraid of feedback, man. But the first thing you want to do is go ahead and share. I don't have to share anymore because what I am doing now is I'm including this on all of my social medias as well, which is what I used to have to do, is have to share, do all this extra stuff. But hold on one second. I don't have to do that now. And that's a beautiful thing. So go ahead and what up, Samuel? Appreciate you tapping in, ATL, man. I see you. I appreciate it as always, brother. Ain't nothing like somebody who listens to your stuff, man. It's definitely appreciative. Put your city in, where you tapping in from, and we're gonna really get to it today, man. Perfect. I see my stuff is around. Yeah, man, we talking about goals and a few other things today, man. Writing your life script, man. What's up, AZ fam? You already know you on my list, homie. Constantly thinking about my loved ones, man. Making sure I have their dreams. I'm praying for everybody, homie. And I don't say that generically. Like when I see people, I'm like, man, I hope they win. I really do. And that's a difficult thing for people who want to win their damn selves. It's like wishing somebody else well. That's difficult. That's not easy. I mean, just wish this person well. Even though I'm trying to get mines, right? Because we have that lack mentality. A lot of times that was bred into us. It could be from environment. It could be from a few different things, but those type of thoughts are bred into us. So we got to really check those, man. We got to really, really check those, man. I've been listening to a lot of David Goggins lately, man. That brother right there, you want to talk about him getting into a mental frame of mind? His whole deal is stay hard, stay hard. What's up, family? Typing in from the HD. I see you, Tanisha. I appreciate it. But yeah, man. Hey, David Goggins, man, it's the truth. You want to listen to somebody who's going to really get you motivated, you can even pull him up on Tidal. His stuff is on Tidal with like music in the background, but like it have his quotes and stuff. But like the dude is like an ultra marathon runner. He's a Navy SEAL. He cusses a lot. So just if you can get past that, then you're gonna be on. But the brother right there is a mental experiment and study in action. His mentality is just different. And what he brings to the table in terms of just advice and how to really kick butt and go after and just smash your dreams. He talks about it. He talks shit about it, and he just goes in, and it's enlightening and inspiring. He talks about how he didn't know books on a lot of this stuff, and we all didn't. That's one of the things about it. When we look at things in hindsight, what do we miss? We just talked about that last week, right? Filling in our missing pieces. And that's something that we all need to come to terms with. If it was love, we need to learn how to love, right? I didn't get a lot of hugs when I was a kid. So I had to learn how to hug. My kids give real hugs, right? But it's difficult for me because if that wasn't being done to you or taught to you, these things you don't know, and it's not because people didn't love you or anything. It just wasn't, my wife came from a house where they did a lot of hugs, but I'm like, man, kind of standoffish or standing back, and that's just a natural thing of the way you've been brought up. So we got to check ourselves with, more importantly, the thoughts that have been passed on to us by the people that have been around us. Because a lot of times they're limitation thoughts, right? Or limiting beliefs, what they didn't think they could do, they passed on to somebody else. I remember when I wanted to be an attorney, when I was a kid, I was like, man, I want to be a lawyer. I learned about them. And first thing my dad was like, man, that's a lot of school. And he didn't like school. You know what I'm saying? That didn't have anything to do with me, and I'm not disrespecting my pops. He's still alive. Shout out to my dad. But that was he was like, he doesn't like water either. So he doesn't drink a lot of water. I love water. And just because we come from our parents or whatever, we've adopted some of their same mentalities, doesn't mean we have to live with them forever. And we could dare to be different, especially from people who, just, and you don't have to down anybody else for the way they think or whatever the case may be. You could just move another way. My Uncle Alan, rest in peace, he didn't like water either. He liked beer and stuff. I like water. I prefer water. I don't like soda. It's just one of those things. And that's okay. So a lot of things we have to unlearn, especially if they were handing it down and we're not comfortable with the way they worked out for us. We got to unlearn these things, right? One of the ways I see it, I'm still reading the Will Smith book. It's over there. I wish I can get it a little closer. I brought it in, but he talked about fantasies and how he had to create this fantasy world a lot of times, and that helped him, and it's still helping him to this day, creating these fantasies of what you want, and that's the thing, our mind is a way more powerful tool than we actually use it for, right? We're not really getting the full utility out of our minds because we're not stretching our imagination of what we can become because of our limitations or because of the way we've been brought up, right? We have these limiting thoughts. I can only do why records are being broken daily, companies are being built daily, ideas are being prototyped daily. So what is your limiting belief, right? Why can't you? He talked about when he joined the Navy SEALs, the dude was 270 something pounds, and the guy told him, you too heavy to be a Navy SEAL. So he had to lose, I think it was 100 and something pounds in 3 months. So imagine that. Imagine being handed that type. If you want to go after dreams, you got to do this. Like the school, and I talked to you guys about this the last time. The schools I want to attend, I got to get a better GMAT score. So you best believe part of my goals, and we're about to get to that too, because I did my goals last night. And it was a powerful experience because you have to do it when God's talking to you, because he's telling you how these miracles are going to occur and what you need to do to obtain them. And a lot of times we what we try to do is we try to convince ourselves that these things don't work. Right? It's just, well, I remember I was talking to a family member and they were like, I kind of believe in the power of thought. So I'll just say, why not? Why not think positive? And I'm like, that's a half kind of way of thinking about it, but you're on the right path. Why, if you're going to think about something, if you're going to do something, why not be the best or the most? Right? Is it going to scare you to do the work? Because a lot of times that's what scares people, is the work involved in it. It's not necessarily what the goal. It's like, well, what I have to do, what do I have to sacrifice, right? What do I have to commit to? What do I have to give up? What time do I have to get up in the morning to do this? And a lot of these things, what do I have to give up in the evening? I can't watch this. I can't. Nah, you might have to. And when you do start writing your life script, because that's what we're talking about, writing the script of your life today. That's what today's theme is. And just like anybody who's a playwright, anybody who writes television, you can write your life script. You can absolutely write your life script. And the way you do that is you set goals. Because as you achieve these goals, your life starts to roll out in the way that you wanted it to. Because these goals should all be related to how you want your life to look. If you want to live in a specific part of the country, I had my eyes on LA. Once I came to LA one time, I was it. And it was back in the day. This is when we used to come up from San Diego and come up to the swap meet to buy like snakers and stuff like that from the Slauson swap meet, because our swap meet wasn't to the extent of the Slauson one. It was cool, Fan Mart, before it closed down, but it wasn't to that extent. So we used to ride up here, and I was like, dude. And then I started going down, and as I got older, I started messing with other homies in LA, and I was like, this is me. I said, this is me, and I had my eyes set on that city from day one. And a lot of times you'll take a lot of detours and different, ways and routes on getting there, but you'll still get there, right? The destination is the same. You want it to look a certain way, and you have to look at that vision daily. How do I want it to look? And if you don't have a clear vision, you got to start looking at things in order to give you some type of vision on what you want. Once you develop the vision, you start to put the steps in order. So you have to see what it looks like, right? You have to put your canvas up and say, what does my life look like? What does my ideal situation look like? What do I want out of life, right? Because life is just sitting there saying, well, what do you want? What exactly do you want? And most people don't know. They think, and they settle for something basic. They want what the next man wants. I want what he wants. Why? Because I didn't have any idea. Well, you got to start thinking about what matters to you. What's going to make your life complete? What's going to make you feel loved and appreciated? What's going to make you feel like this life means something, has meaning, right? We have to have purpose. My teaching gives me purpose. Coming here weekly gives me purpose, right? You've heard of people that have, succumbed to life because they ran out of purpose, or people that have that have stayed longer than they were supposed to because they had a purpose. We have to have purpose in life, and the way you develop that, you start to write your story. What you want your story to say? What exactly do you want it to say? How do you want it to end? What characters do you want in it? Right? What do you want them to be doing? Because if you don't, you're going to be part of someone else's movie. And you're going to be an extra, right? You're going to be part of someone else's script, not necessarily something that you control. So it's important. It's important that we start to look at what we want, or we'll become victims of whatever way the wind's blowing, whatever way somebody else's idea is, whatever you want to do, right? As opposed to, what do I want to do? Let me identify who I am, what's important to me, what makes me tick, what keeps me up, right? What motivates me. I'm inspired by amazing people. When I read Will Smith's story, I realized that being an oddball, not fitting in any circle, might get me to his status, right? Because outside of that, most people say the oddball, you got to fit in. You got to fit in. I never fit in with the homies in the neighborhood. I never fit in with the squares. Everybody has something a little bit different than what I had, right? And I was okay with that. The gangs, okay, you got a level of, you don't care, I can't deal with that. Some of the homies in the game, you got a level of cutthroatness that I can't go there. And you start to look at all these things and you're like, man, I don't fit in any circle. I don't fit in any of these. And that's okay. I'm a little bit different. I like classical music. I like this and I like that. That's okay. No one ever tells you that, though. As you're growing up, you're ostracized from being different. You're ostracized. And that's what he talks about in that book. He talks about how that gets you to where you are. Most entertainers and stars with cornballs are different in school. They didn't fit in with everybody. That's what makes them stand out today, right? Trying to fit in with everybody, and trying to convince yourself that something doesn't work. Oh man, goals, man, that stuff doesn't. All that stuff D be talking about is with you. Let me tell you, not only does it work, right? Yeah, indeed. We create our own circles to fit in. Yes, indeed. What's up, brother Aaron? Miss you, homeboy. That's the big homie right there. Yep. Yeah, I never fit in with these cats. I was always more about my cheddar, more looking at it like, okay, well, what's the next move? We can't do this forever. I know there's got to be an end game. And when you in the game, you ain't looking at narcos like, okay, these cats had everybody and everybody's mama on the payroll and they still took the L. So let me stop doing this. And some cats still want to push it. I'm like, man, you still pushing that? Man, we in our 40s and 50s. Y'all still pushing that line? And I understand. I'm not I'm not telling you what to do and what not to do. But you can't say something doesn't work if you solely and 100% don't put your mind behind it and believe in it. You can't say it doesn't work. So when people talk about goals, I'm like, man, you must not have really believed in what you wrote. You must not have put it in front of your face to see it every single day. When I used to give my juvenile hall talks to these cats, man, I got letters and stuff all over the place from these cats on how impactful it was. When they first meet me, I'll be in there suited and booted, and I'm like, who's this cornball? And then I start talking about my experiences in there. I'm like, yeah, the Creole comes to your cell, talks to you, and asks you if you want to get out. It slides you the boiled egg and the oatmeal. Hey, man, how you know? I'm like, man, because I was in one of these joints a few times. And I'm telling you what they tell you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like, and then that opens them up, and then I start the goal setting process. I start talking about smart goals, right? Not regular goals, these ones that make you active, specific. Be specific about what you want. Oh man, I want to be rich, man. What does that look like? How do you know when you achieve it? What's that dollar figure look like? Oh man, I want the Lambo. You know the maintenance on them joints? You know what they cost, the insurance, you done the math, do the math, be detailed. Specifically about your goals, because the universe is detailed. It's taking notes, like, and we've had this conversation. The universe is like a waitress, just sitting there taking your order. And you sit up there, man, just give me something good. What you mean, give me something good? What you want? Spaghetti with lobster? What exactly do you want? And most of the time, we're not specific enough to demand that from the universe to say, man, I want the red Lambo with the dual pipes. I want this with the dual garage. And be specific. In this neighborhood, they cost this. There's one available, right? And it don't have to be right now. The universe just wants to know you dead serious about it. That's it. That's the only agreement. That's the man. You dead serious about it, and you'll do whatever it takes to get it. Not to the point to where you're disrespecting or impeding on someone else's um space or boundaries. You can't do that. You can't come up off of somebody else's downfall. That's the false foundation. Your fall. So if it's a come up, a gimmick, a scheme, that ain't gonna work. It's not. It's what they call it, a house of cards or something like that. It's a matter of time. So whatever it is, it's got to benefit others. Like this, I'm putting in work. I set my goal. I got some ambitious ones. I want 1,000 subscribers. Right? We barely made 300 right now on YouTube, but it was triple what I asked for last year. Triple. So why not? If God is in the triple up business, why don't I continue to ask for a triple up? Right? Why would I start asking for a double up? I'm beyond that now. I'm beyond quarter pieces and all that. Right? Why would I start asking for a double up at this stage if he's tripling my money? Every time I get in a dice game with God, man, I come out 3 times. Good, right? So why would I stop asking for it now? And that's the key. We can't stop. We got to ask for more and be willing to challenge ourselves to do more. Right? I came up with a plan. What up, Kenneth? I see you, my brother. Appreciate you tapping in. Indeed. But yeah, I'm aggressive with my goals right now. I'm writing my life script. I'm on some Oscar nomination life script. That's what I'm on. How does I want this to end? Best actor, best supporting actor, best screenplay. I'm trying to do all that. But I got to write my ass off. I got to learn how to write. I got to come up with interesting topics, right? So I got to make life interesting for myself. If I want it to be a hell of a movie, I got to start writing some interesting scenes, right? I got to start putting myself in some really interesting positions in order for this movie to be dope. So what type of positions can I put in? Like my mom, okay, she getting her Jacques Cousteau on. You talking about writing a life script? Man. So I waited, till I was in my 60s and I decided I'm going to go ahead and take deep sea diving. Oh, word? You want to talk about amazing? That's how you get put in books. You dig? That's how you get put in books. What's up, Pastor Harris, my brother? You feel me? So make sure that you when you write in your life script that it is amazing. Why not put them peaks in there? It's your story. You can end it how you want. However you want. It's your story. You can write whatever you want in here. Period. So what you gonna put in there? You could write a love story. You could put in there a happy ending. You can put in everything that comes with a movie. What makes your movie tick? You feel me? Write it. Write it down. What is that? What are you gonna need to do? Right? Will Smith said he had to lose weight in order to get into this film, this role. Okay, that means I gotta go run every day. What script do you want to be? I want to be a marathon runner. Okay, so you want your story to end with all these trophies? Shout out to my boy Greg J, who got some of those marathon trophies. Is that what you want? You want to walk into the sunset doing something super dope, surfing at your 70s for your 70th birthday, going to Hawaii and smacking waves? You can say whatever you want. You want to open up a restaurant in your 60s like Colonel Sanders? Whatever. It's your story. Why are you limiting yourself? Why start writing it down? If it doesn't happen this year, move that stuff to next year. You feel me? Keep moving it on. Doesn't matter. If it doesn't get accomplished this cycle, we got plenty more to go. God's not tripping. Trust me. He's not tripping. He can deliver. And he always does. But we have to do more than meet him halfway. We got to start tapping into the universe, telling, man, come on, this is what I actually need. And doing it now. When I had the opportunity, I said, you know what I keep? I keep paper. So like I got these are my goals right here. But let me show you. Let me show you. And for my listening audience, you can't see it, but you can hear it. I keep these. I bought a whole thing of these. It's poster paper. I'm good for the next couple of years. And this little poster paper right here is gonna get me straight. And you're like, man, how you gonna build all this stuff out some basic? No, it's not the poster paper. You know, it comes with the Sharpie. You got to get the Sharpie too. You feel me? This is it. This is it. That's all it takes. This, some faith, and some elbow grease. You got to put in the time. It's not going to just come to you, but you got to write your destination down. How the hell you going to know where you're going? How you going to know what it looks like when you get there? You got to write your map. You got to write your script. You got to tell your movie how you want it to end, what the scenes look like, right? Where they at? I had beach scenes in my movie forever. Now on my weekends, I'm either surfing or I'm touring at the beach every weekend. Write your script. I saw Eddie Murphy's Boomerang. Said I wanted that. I want to be in advertising. And next thing I know, I'm in LA wearing suits, running around, playing around. Write your script. Why not? Why not? You got to be specific though. Smart, measurable, attainable, right? Timely. I don't like that R, realistic or reasonable. I don't know what that means. Because when I saw Will Smith, and you got to watch this, man. Go watch the Will Smith Tavis Smiley video. I promise you that one. The Will Smith Tavis Smiley video is absolutely amazing because he talks about that. He talks about no, I don't know if it's not the Will Smith Tavis Smiley. He does mention that, but there's a Will Smith video, and I'll put it in the comments one day. That he talks about all these different things, and particularly of how people have these limiting beliefs, right? And what people thought was possible and impossible. I am impossible, right? When people say you're impossible, it's damn right I am. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm that other statistic, right? I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to have a business. I'm supposed to be back in the pen, according to what statistics say. So that's why I don't pay any attention to statistics unless I'm controlling them and writing a academic paper. But other than that, it doesn't matter. Not what you're saying about me, because as long as it's me and God, everything is possible. There's nothing off the table, nothing. And that's the most important thing we have to understand, that God can deliver. So why are we asking for less? Why are we asking for less? For what? We limiting him. Oh man, you gonna act like God had limited pockets. Like I ain't gonna order the lobster because I don't really think you got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna go out to with God and be like, nah, I don't really think. I ain't gonna order I'm not gonna get the expensive tequila. I'm gonna get the cheap one because I don't think I'm trying to be nice to you, man. You don't knock it off. I want 2 lobsters, the double dipped fried. Give me the expensive Don Julio. Give me all that. Why? Because this cat I'm sitting at the table with, man, he buy all this stuff a million times. So why am I asking for less? Why am I not writing my goals down? Do I not believe it works? Do you not believe it's a real thing? Do you think it's some little kiddie game? Because that's what most adults do. They think it's some little kid game. That's some little kid stuff. That's cute. Like, man, I've been doing this stuff for years, homie, and I moved on up. And I'm not putting a 10 on myself, but I ain't in the same position I was. I moved on up out of whatever. Goodness. Right? And that's what you got to do. I start writing. My goals now don't look like the ones I started with. The ones I started with was some basic. I remember I have one on there. I just got to take the GMAT to get this score. Done deal. I want to get this to go towards my MBA. You can look at my old stuff. Like I find old goals in my house just randomly around. Knocked out. Done. Completed. Looked at my 2021 goals. 75% of them are completed. 75%. Great percentage. Most people, oh man, I need to get 100. Man, on the other 25 got moved to this year. Period. And I'm setting my roadmap so I know what potholes to avoid. I don't have going to the club on here. I'm not going to the club. I'm going to the gym. I'm trying to get consistent sets on the pull-up bar. That's what I am doing. You feel me? And every time I look at these goals, it's a reminder of what you're supposed to be doing. So when you're sitting there talking about your board, I have on here, I'll show you guys. I have on here, I think it's where, up here, Khan Academy. Let me see, 1 hour a day for geometry. Where is it? Geometry, linear algebra, and statistics. You feel me? 1 hour a day. And I already did my 40 minutes, right? I think I got to take a test on the areas of parallelograms. I'm dead serious. I'm not going to let nothing get in the way of what I'm supposed to be doing, which is that PhD. Dig that. So if I got to humble myself and go to school with my 3-year-old son and learn geometry, man, my big ass is going to be in there. Period. We'll be studying together because nothing is going to stop me. Nothing. There's nothing going to be. There's nothing. I've already made that commitment to the PhD and to my future family and to all legacy. We doing that, dog. We walking across the stage one more time. You know what I'm saying? Period. And you got to have that undeniable commitment to a goal, willing to see it through, willing to put the steps together when nobody else is watching. What nobody down there with me putting this down? I got 19 of these joints, dude. 10% higher revenue, shoot basketball 30 minutes a day. What's that? The pull-ups, sets of 15 to 20. Right? I was knocking out sets of 10 today. That may not seem like nothing, but homie, that was hard for me. That was hard for me. And when I'm setting goals, reading, not just reading, now I upped it. Because I was doing 2 books and I would start knocking out 2 books. I started listening to Audible, knocking out 2 books. That's easy. Let me get to 3 now. Let me dig into some biographies a little bit more, find some interesting, amazing people now, right? Change my game up a little bit, make it more interesting. Bicycling, shooting baskets, keeping myself healthy and agile. Part of my overall experience because I want to be healthy. I don't want to be old and crusty, breaking down. Hikes. These are things I can do with my family. My son works out with me now. 7 years old. Well, he just turned 8. Getting his pull-up game up. That's an advantage to him. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was that old, wasn't nobody on the pull-up bar. These cats is jumping around. He's on there, man. I'll bust down 10. Who's next? Right? And I know these things now. So I'm trying to expose him to different things. And also getting him in the habit of setting goals. Man, it is a Sharpie and a poster board. That's it. Sharpie and a poster board. But you got to figure out what it is you want. Be clear on who you are. What do you need? What are the missing pieces? Right? Do I need to learn how to love? Okay, let me figure out how to interact with people. Let me figure out how to interact with strangers. Let me go to a few networking events and see if I can talk to strangers. You know, if it's speaking, right? Let me go to Toastmasters and improve my speeches so that I'm not using a bunch of and you know, right? Because if you're doing speeches, that can become a distraction. But you wouldn't know that if you haven't went back to the lab and said, you know what? I need to understand how to speak properly, how to embrace pauses and silence. Until you're in Toastmasters, you don't realize that that's even going on, right? Like Gavin Newsom talks with his hands. Most people wouldn't notice that if you don't go to a speaking group and you're not paying attention to those things. I had one of my homeboys tell me about looking in the camera. You see, my eyes don't really deviate from looking inside the camera. I know where the camera is. This is all practice. And if you want to go back to the episode of repetition, where I talk about repetition, the importance of repetition, of why it's important to repeat things over and over again until you become proficient and move towards mastery. Because you'll get there, right? Malcolm Gladwell talks about the 10,000 hours. right? How we get to mastery level. Got to put in the time and work, man. We going on. We have over 100 some lives. Working on our 57th episode of our podcast. Still putting it down every day. It's growing slowly but surely. Not quitting. Trying to get better. Give you more. So I go learn more. The more I do this, the more I'm forced to stay sharp. Because I got to show up every Monday. Tavis Smiley. I listen to Tavis Smiley in the morning. Shout out to 1580 K Day. Well, not K Day now. KBLA. Right? Shout out to my boy Don Amici. Telling you guys, listen to that if you come to LA. If you're not, pull it up on the app. They got an app. It is an amazing station. The preparation that brother puts into his interviews, me and Don were talking about that this weekend. It is amazing. The quality of guests and just that kind of work on the front end. It's going to be amazing no matter what they do because of the work that they're putting in. So once you start to put your head down, the outcome is irrelevant. And you know what kind of work you put in, walk away. Sit. It's just like when you're trying to talk to a girl or whatever, you like, man, I know I put my best foot forward. I'm throwing my Dulce and Gabbana. I put on my best. She's still tripping. I'm out of here. And you got to be like that with your goals, man. We had that conversation about walking away from them. Can't hound them like that. But you got to put the plan together. Watching King Richard right now, man. Will Smith joined. He wrote out a plan for his daughters before they were born. You talking about goals? Wrote it out before they were born, knew who they were going to be. I'm trying to tell you, it works. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Yes, after I did my vision board and I look at it every day, I start to move and think, yes, you do. That's the thing, Tani. That's the crazy part. Because you check yourself. It's kind of an alignment tool, right? When you're starting to get out of alignment, you look at your goals like, oh, shit, I ain't even supposed to be thinking like that. I got stuff to do, man. I ain't even got to this shit, man. And you move stuff. We just like, shh. I mean, I ain't even got time to be thinking like that. I got a bunch of stuff I need to get done. And these things are going to move me in the direction that I want to be in life, which are going to contribute to my happiness. Because accomplishment does breed happiness. You need to accomplish things, right? Sitting stagnant, you get diseased like a pond, right? No new fresh blood, no new fresh water coming in. So we have to think like that. We got to constantly be challenging ourselves to get better and better, right? I got to write a business plan, a detailed business plan for the restaurant because that's something I want to do in about 2 or 3 years, right? Get that done. So I got 2 years to try to set it up, to write the business plan, to figure out how we're going to make this work. Hiring employees, the whole nine. Figuring out where we're going to put it, how we're going to start researching what it looks like inside, how kitchens are set up. Every time I go somewhere, I'm looking at this stuff. So I put that down as a goal. Everything that I'm learning in my teaching is preparing me for that. I teach retail. We have to design our own interiors. So I know the software. It's crazy. Man, appreciate you, Best to say, man. Good to see you, boy. Appreciate that. Yes, indeed. But that's it. So now I'm focusing more on specifics. I'm like, okay, man, God has me in his position. Everything that I'm teaching, I'm really teaching myself. Right. So I might as well set some lofty goals. I put on here too. Where is it? I got the Clippers. There's all kind of stuff on it. Khan Academy, 1,000 subscribers, 30 minutes of YouTube. So I want to kick 10% higher. My kicks. So for kickboxing, I'm not real limber. So I'm trying to get my kicks to where they go a little higher. This is simple stuff, right? These small improvements, right? That 1% we talked about. You guys remember that, right? 1% improvements. I want to get my kicks just a little bit higher. Beautiful. Once they get a little bit higher, then what? I can do X, Y, Z. Right? And then you start setting goals. I want to be able to do a jumping roundhouse. Let me get loftier and loftier. Okay, so maybe 2 more years and I'll be able to do. And you just give yourself these hurdles and these. Let me see how high I can jump in life. Let me see if I can get there. Why not? What else am I doing? What else do I have to do and what else am I doing? Right? Besides listening to somebody else's, either script or misery, one of the two. Because those who are writing their life script, right? They're moving on. They're like, man, I'm going on to my next scene. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm moving on to my next scene. I've moved on from that. And that's what we need to be. We need to be in that space to where we're constantly moving to our next scene. What's our next scene? I haven't written it yet. That's the beauty, and I haven't written it yet. Man, I can't wait. Watch this one, man. I'm gonna graduate from Harvard. Are you? Write it down. Universe believes you. It doesn't. That's the beauty. It doesn't know the difference between a lie and the truth. Right? Sit on that one for a minute. The universe has no idea whether you're lying or telling the truth. It doesn't. It just knows what you're saying. That's why you got to watch your mouth. Don't ever downplay yourself. Don't call yourself fat. Don't call yourself ugly. Don't call yourself stupid. None of that stuff. The universe will start confirming to it. Okay, this is what you want. Oh, you want to be ugly? Okay, well, cool. Let me throw this on you. Let me go ahead and mess your head. I keep giving you what you want, whatever you need. I got it. So why not ask for more than that? Start to test it. See what you can do with the universe. See how y'all can work hand in hand and start to deliver this stuff. It's magic, man. I'm telling you, it's magic. I promise you, these goals are freaking magic. It is like creating things. Let me create it. The alchemist, right? I can build what I want. I am who I say I am. And that's true. You are who you say you are. Who are you? I'm a businessman. I want to be one of the best motivating businessmen to ever exist. When we came around, Duane, man, he had this energy, this positive energy, and he talked about marketing. He talked about reading. That's my legacy. That's what I want to be known for. You know what I'm saying? Not the one who had these fantastic stories. No. Life is going to give me that. I'm good. What I want to leave behind, though, is the way to get to these things in life that you really, really, truly want. You got to write it down. You got to write it down, and you have to believe in it, right? You don't have to tell people. They don't have to believe in it. That's one of the things that we think we need. We need their belief. Let me show you guys. Man, I don't care whether you believe it or not. Doesn't matter. What I care about is whether I believe it or not. Do I believe I can do it? I remember when I first started surfing, man, black folks don't. You going out there, you know how many people said, isn't there sharks in the water? You wouldn't believe how many people says, aren't there sharks in the water? The first thing they said. Not, man, how's the exercise, man? How's the water feel? What does it feel like when you catch your first wave? Isn't there sharks in the water? And that's passing on their fears, because you know what they do? They watch Shark Week. You know what I don't do? Watch Shark Week. For what? I mean, they out there do their thing, man. But the more I think about something, the more it's going to become my reality. The more power I give to a idea, a person, a thought, the bigger. And it's like, you remember them things you used to put in the water, and they would just expand with water. Next thing you know, they'd be huge. Like, you just throw them in the water, and then, man, an hour later, they're like this big. They soaked up all the water. That's how things are with your thoughts. Same thing. No different. I mean, give it all my thought. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and powerful. So why would you give it that kind of thought? Why not think about things in a positive light? Why not give it the positive energy, right? Because energy is one way or another. It doesn't matter. One way or another, it's still energy. Period. So if we're going to speak, referring back to what I was saying earlier in our conversation, when I was talking about that family member, if we're going to speak, why not make it positive? Why not speak life into something? Why not figure out who's doing what and how they're accomplishing it and model yourselves after them? You don't have to do it to the T, but you could definitely do it to the point to where it's like, hey, that worked for you. Let me try it for myself. Hey, let me try this out. Hey, let me grab this from there. And then you start to put your potpourri together and your recipe together. Next thing you know, you have that life that you dreamed of. So you have to. Oh, you don't. This is the beauty in it, right? Jay Prince just you should check out his video. You got a video I posted on this page as well. We talks about choices. We have life every day. We wake up with a chance and choices. And he said it's our choices that determine our destinations in life. So when we get up in the morning, we have to make a choice whether we're going to believe in what we're going to do for that day, or we're going to be sourpuss and get into the drama. Nah, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go stick to my script. That's what helped me through my stint in prison. Programming. I ran 5 miles a day, every day, because this other fool country ran like 10. Every day. And I saw Country in Inglewood. He didn't recognize me either. But anyways, that's what kept me going. So it's discipline. It's something that you do daily that's going to get you to where you need to be in life. That will conclude our weekly episode of this week's Weekly Tap In. I certainly appreciate you guys. I'm still reading the Will Smith book right now. It is really good. I hope you guys go check it out. Kendrick Lamar has a book too. I was actually I got put up on game about a bookstore. Go to black bookstores if you can. Go to ethnic bookstores, because a lot of these authors and books that you may not even hear about are at these stores. And I didn't even know Kendrick Lamar had a book. It's about his poetry and all that stuff, and reading the Will Smith book. And there's other books as well, Michael Eric Dyson. Check out these things. I'll add more titles as we progress. I appreciate you guys. I'm tapping out.